Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing 5 different snowflake designs and we're going to jump right into it. You're going to need a dotting tool. Dip your dotting tool in gel polish color of choice. Create a dot for the center and then create dots on both sides and at the top and the bottom of that. And you can actually make more dots. The more dots you add, the longer and bigger your snowflake is going to be. Once you have your dots on your nail, don't cure it. We're going to take a skinny nail art brush. You want to coat your nail art brush with some polish and then start at the center and just make some lines, basically connecting those dots you just made. Now you can go ahead and cure if you want to. I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to add 4 more dots, one in between each of the lines we already made. And if you did cure your design, you want to make a dot right in the center. That way you can bring that color out the same way we did with the first 4 lines. So after you have created those lines, this is what your snowflake should look like. You can go ahead and add any other design you want. I'm just going in adding some random dots so it looks like snow. And I also am going to add a rhinestone right in the center of the snowflake. Then I'm going to apply my top coat and that's it. We have our first snowflake design. I also want to mention that I'm going to be making all of the snowflakes really big. Basically, it's going to fill the entire nail. You can make yours smaller. I'm just making them big for the sake of the video. For our next nail, we're going to make a line going down and then we're going to make an X going over it. And you can do this part in any order you want. If you want to draw the X first and then the line, you can do that. After you've done that, you're going to take your dotting tool and make 5 dots, basically 1 on each line, and you want to make it towards the center of the lines. Then we're going to take our dotting tool and make some more dots, basically at the ends of all of the lines. So at any point you can go ahead and cure the design you have, that way you don't accidentally mess it up. But we're going to move on to the next part of the snowflake, and you're going to make a slanted line, actually 2 slanted lines. I'm just doing one side first and you guys will see that in a second. You're going to create basically like a V shape. So here you go, 2 slanted lines, and you're making that towards the circle that is at the tip of those lines. Also, at any point, if you need to go over another line, make it darker, then you can do that. I definitely had to do that with some of the designs. And I'm also just kind of touching up all of the dots so they are similar in size, and I want to make sure they're nice and round. And that's basically it for this snowflake design. I'm just adding some swirly lines to the top and the tip of the nail just to add a little bit more decor to it. But your snowflake design is done. You can decorate your nail however you want to. I'm also adding a rhinestone in the center, and then I'm going to add a glossy top coat. And there goes our second snowflake design. We're going to move on to snowflake number 3. So for this next design, you're going to make a line going down and then making a line going across it. So you have a T, and then we are going to make some diagonal lines, and basically we're creating an X. So we have a T and an X. However you draw it, it's up to you, but this is what you should have. So after you have this design right here, you're going to cure that. And now we're going to take our liner brush and basically make 2 lines going into a point, and we're doing that in between all of the lines. Also, I need to apologize. I know in some of the parts I'm like almost out of frame. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm doing, and I'm trying my best to explain it as well. But this is what you should have. Super cute. We're going to add a little bit more to that, and basically I'm taking my liner brush, making 2 slanted lines on the side of each line. We're actually going to do this on both sides. I just prefer to work on one side first because it just flows easier. I can just rotate the nail, create those two lines and keep rotating it, and then work on the other side. So you're going to create two slanted lines on each side of that line. After that, you can go ahead and cure your design so you're set. And this is your third design. I mean, you can add other things to it. If you want to add some dots to the top, you can. I just added another rhinestone to the center of this one and use my dotting tool to create some snow throughout the nail. Top coat it, and that's it. So for this next design, you're going to make a line going across horizontal, and then you're going to make an X on top of that. And I just like breaking down the line sometimes, so you can just draw a line going across and then another line going across. I just prefer to do my lines like this, but you should have an X shape and then a line going horizontal in between that X shape, so you have something that looks like this. And after you're done, you can go ahead and cure it, or you can just continue on. I am making 3 lines going up on the side of each of those lines I just created, and we're going to do this on both sides. Try not to make the lines too long, otherwise the lines are going to clash and mesh together. But this is how your snowflake should look. So now you can just design your nail however you want. I'm going to add a blue dot in the center of that snowflake. I use the same color that I used for my nail. And then I'm going in along the sides at the top of the nail and the bottom of the nail. I'm just creating some like slanted lines. Honestly, I don't know what I was doing. I just wanted to add a little something extra, and this is the first thing that came to mind. But this is how our snowflake came out. Now we're going to do our last snowflake design, and you're going to make a line going down and make an X going over that. So after you have made those lines, you can cure that just so you have that design set and you don't accidentally mess it up. I am just going to keep going, and we're going to make some slanted lines at the ends of those lines we just created. So after you have made all of those lines, this is how your nail should look. I did go ahead and cure mine because we're going to go back in and make even more lines. So we're making 2 more slanted lines on each side of those lines. You want to be light. I was definitely a little heavy-handed, especially with the lines that are at the tips, those little V shapes that are at the tips. I wanted to do those a little bit lighter. I wanted to do those as light as I'm doing these lines that I'm doing right now. So just be light-handed. Try not to be too heavy-handed. And if you want to go in and make the lines thicker, then you can do that. But just start off lighter and thinner and then take it from there. After you have made all of those lines, this is how your snowflake should look. And you can actually leave it as is, or you can just add on more. I'm just adding some little dots to the ends of those lines. The good thing with snowflakes is once you get kind of like the hang of it, of different ways to draw them, you can just make so many different variations, and you can just add on to any snowflake design you'll see. So if you don't want to draw those little dots at the ends, you don't have to. If you want to draw a bigger dot in the center, you can. You want to draw less lines, you can. But I am pretty much done with this snowflake. I did some little snow dots, and that's it. Here are all 5 of our snowflake nails. And that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know which snowflake you like best. I think I like that first one and that middle one the best. Also, let me know if you tried any of these designs out. Feel free to tag me on social media. I would love to see you guys work. And do let me know if you have any questions as well. I will see you in the next video. Happy holidays.